Alright, recording a video for a player that I had talked to a while ago, conservative, to give him a little bit of um, tips and just look at his gameplay and everything like that. I'm going to look at your Xin Zhao game that you did win, but it looks like that I'm not sure if you had early game problems, mid game problems, or what, because you had a relatively low score for Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao usually is very aggressive in the early parts of the game, setting up his team and even potentially getting very fed himself. So we'll take a look here. And just looking at the teams already, all three lanes are very good potential ganks for you. Top lane's probably harder just because Vladimir takes time to scale and he doesn't have Ignite. So I'd be looking at middle and bot the most to wanna gank basically. Okay.
Let me show you what it is to fall. I am your darkness. I am your truth.
Okay, starting red. So it'll be interesting. Um, One thing you should always take note is right now the bottom lane's already showing, so you should know that their jungler is on the opposite side of the map. You also should know that they warded the tri-bush, the pixel brush here. I'm sorry, not the tri-bush, the pixel brush here. So they do have information here. Unfortunately, your mid or top did not ward this, so you have less information there. They have a Poro like you do there. So see your path. Sorry. Okay, so the first thing that I would do is if you're going to go from red across map, you should go red to Scuttle. Xin Zhao is one of the best level 2 champions in the whole game, so there's very few people who can actually contest you at this Scuttle, so your pathing is perfectly fine if you just do Scuttle first. Because it spawns at 2 minutes, so this is something you need to know. Both Scuttles spawn at 2 minutes. So if you're going to go cross map to make a play, that's perfectly fine. Just since you're playing Xin Zhao in this instance, if you're a Master Yi, I know you play Master Yi. Master Yi doesn't have a bad level 2 at all, so you could still contest this versus a decent amount of junglers. I actually think you would beat Kha'Zix as Master Yi at level 2, but he starts to beat you very quickly, like I think even at level 3 he would beat you, so you would still have the upper hand at 2. But already your pathing should just be red to Scuttle, and then you can do your jungle camps. It's good, you're doing attack move. So it's going to be contested now, so it'll be interesting. Okay. So now you're going to get the other Scuttle. Oh, you're going straight into gank. That's good. Okay, no matter what happens here, you're level 3. You should not be diving under that turret to dive. You already did your job. You got their summoners. This is something I tell my team all the time: is you got to take small wins basically. So your small win is you came and you got their summoners out of them. So we'll actually watch from this angle here. So Kai'Sa already. So right there, you should just immediately start. You should just switch your target. I know you want to kill the Kai'Sa, but you should just E onto the Braum, and basically just force his flash as well sooner. But you're too fixated on her. You got to make sure that you notice this too. You already have 2 Braum stacks on you, so if you go under turret, you're absolutely screwed. Now you have 3, And when you decide to go under this turret, you are going to get first blood, but you're absolutely going to die too. So you're losing um, your double buffs. Your team ended up, um, oh, you ended up getting the double buffs on your team, but that's still not worth. Because the point is, you can return back to this lane now knowing that they don't have flashes, and it's so much easier. And you still would have your flash, your AD carry would still have heal, and you could get the scuttle. So now the tempo of the game is completely in your team's favor. And then you can go. Um, you honest could you honestly could go into counter jungling at that point too, because you know that their bottom lane would have to go back, and you would have support from your bottom lane. So you could actually, instead of flashing, you E on the Braum when he was here, then he would flash away, and then you just immediately turn to going to deny. This is something that junglers have to do. You would go straight into denial. So you would go into his jungle, counter jungle one camp or two. If blue was there, which it is at this point, you would take blue and then leave to go get scuttle, and then do your camps, and then go back to buy for your first item. So you got to take small wins, especially in the early levels, because you don't want to just trade back kills. It was fortunate that they bottom ended up getting the double buffs, but still, since you're the jungler, you need to be on the map a lot more often as well, because you need to just keep creating pressure. So now you getting the scuttle is delayed. The whole your whole route is delayed basically. You could have had a big advantage on the enemy jungler right now if you would have just not tried to go under the turret basically. Your bottom lane makes a good play. And see, you didn't even have to return to the bottom lane because you got both of their flashes. The bottom lane just starts taking care of helping you out. Okay, let's see if you go deny. So again, when we talk about, I'll talk to you about priority. So your top laner now has priority, so you should go and check his jungle because you know he'll be able to come back you up before their jungler does, no matter what. Because their top or their top laner before top laner can get to you. Their top laner's also no stuck under turret and forced to TP because they can't leave right now while they're getting these creeps. So since you came up here, you should have checked these two camps basically, especially this one that's on the top side. So that's since that's where you have priority. You can never um, invade somewhere where you don't have priority because you're putting your team at risk basically. The other team can get there first before your team can react, and it just makes it a lot harder on yourself. So you gotta use your F keys a lot too. So the positioning of the wave, there's no reason for you to go try to go up here and gank because he basically needs to shove this to turret so it resets. So you just did your Gromp and then you wasted like 10, 15 seconds running up here basically when you should have just been going back to your other side of the jungle or trying to make something happen mid lane. Um, and then we'll talk about at the end of this, I'll show you a little image that is pretty useful, is actually knowing the timing of when your camps respawn, and this also will help you in the sense of counter jungling. Okay, it's good. So your mid lane had priority, he could come to you first, or basically the same time, but you still beat the Kha'Zix one-on-one at this point in the game. So you can literally you can live in his jungle a lot. Okay, your camps are up. So now, no matter what, two, you didn't go into the jungle, so you don't know when his blue buff spawns. But if you would have went in and counter jungled instead of making that die bottom, you would also know the timing of his blue buff spawn. And since you're stronger than him at this point in the game, as long as your bottom lane's in the lane, especially when they're this far ahead, that blue buff is no longer his blue buff; it's your blue buff. because your 3 versus 3 as a team is way stronger than theirs. And even if you add the mid laners into it, look at the CS difference in mid. It's 71 to 29. This Yasuo is absolutely dumpstering the Katarina. So always look to see where you have lane priority, and then that's the side of the map where you can make the enemy junglers jungle your own, because your team will be able to respond to you way faster than theirs because they'll be basically pushed to turret. So just keep that in mind whenever you're making plays, when you're looking to make plays. Xin Zhao's a um, great farming jungler too, so it doesn't take him long to farm his jungle. He can just keep going through. It was a good job by you going back as soon as you had, excuse me, the warrior enchantment. I believe you just eat a minion and not the kale. Just want to make sure I saw that right. Yeah, so you you're already faster than her. You have boots and she doesn't. Like, just change your pathing to be up this way a little bit more, and then you can E her. There's no reason to try to E to a minion to W her. You're gonna catch her no matter what. That was a good job recognizing you can go gank though. So now your immediate plan should be um, is to go counter jungle him on the top side. So literally everything I'm going to tell you is you get information. So information you have right now is we have priority top lane. I don't think we've seen the Kazakhs. I don't think we have a ward or anything yet. But this also comes back to if you would have got the information about his blue buff, you would have known that he was over on this side finishing it. So it made it very simple for you to go counter jungle him on both camps, or at least check if they were there. And if you had a ward, you could also get some deep vision for your team on his red side of the jungle. But this is also now your bottom lane's job to know that uh, so going back to if you would have made the first play correct instead of diving under the turret, your bottom lane would also know that he's most likely on the side because of the blue buff, and then they could be a lot safer in this moment as well. They have a pink ward in the river already, so they should be fine. But you should absolutely be going up this way, doing this camp first because we know that we're safe with Vladimir having priority and Kale doesn't have TP anymore. And then you could just wander down to find out if there is another camp for you to deny. Your job as a jungler is to deny the enemy jungler as much as possible, especially when you get information. So in a second you may see him on the bottom side. I'm not sure if he's going to pop his head on that ward or not. So you have information where he is right now as well. So immediately after this, you should be thinking to go into this jungle again, because this is your information. You win with information. He's here. There's no way for you to respond from here all the way down to the bottom lane. So your job now is to go look to not deny, and this is going to set up perfect timing too. You finish your blue camp, and you can go do Raptors, and then this. And the reason why this order is best right now is because by that time Kale will be in the lane for another return gank, and you know she doesn't have flash still. So instead of doing this, and the reason why not doing your camp here is correct, is your campus will be there still no matter what. So it's best to go deny him right now because you know he's nowhere near that side of the jungle. So yeah, this is a a line of thinking that you need to add into your vocabulary basically. And also, since he just died, now the Herald's on the map for you. You could actually take Herald at this point because it spawns at 10 minutes. So you could do so much right now to really impact your team even more. Your bottom lane is killing it. They just fought 2 versus 3 and they got 2 kills and neither one of them died. So now to just completely snowball this game out of control, you guys are up by 6k right now. Your job is to deny the Kazakh so when he comes back, because look, since he's on this side, what's the most likely thing he did? He most likely cleared this side of the jungle, which he did. So if you go do your job now and you deny this camp, what the hell is he going to do when he gets up? He has nothing to do. So always thinking about denying. So you get information from Vision or your teammates, then you look to either make a play on the other side of the map if you have enough time to get there. You can counter gank or you can go deny. And that's a good job by you getting that. Your bottom lane and your mid's completely stronger than them. So you know that the dragon should be free for you, because if they try to contest it, you're just they're out of their mind. You could do Herald right now too, because you have all the control in the world again. So turret's down. Anytime that this turret goes down as well, this opens up pressure for your team and their side of the jungle. Because no matter what, their starting line is back further because there's nothing to hold the minions here. So it's easier for us to get in here and basically get vision. So if we got a ward here and a ward right here in this path would be great. And then obviously a ward here, and then this pink ward up here is great too. So there's moments, your team's winning right now by a lot, but there's still moments that you could be really punishing this Kha'Zix for being behind because you are a much earlier tempo jungler than he is. So you have control in the matchup. And I understand you wanted to be on this side for your buffs reset, but you have to, same thing I was saying before, since your team has control, especially on the middle and the bottom side, this part of your jungle is going to be here still, so you should just look to be able to take stuff away from him as much as possible. And since you play Yi, I know you play a very farm heavy style, which is perfectly fine. But you need to incorporate how to deny from the, like right here too. You already have 3 people in this turret. You could have let them finish that, and you can deny this camp from him. This is when I'll show you an image at the end of this. This is the camp that gives the most experience besides the buffs. So if you can deny from him and you do it, you can do it safely again because your team is right here. This is they can do this all day. You don't need to share in that gold because you're gonna get gold on your own and deny from this Kha'Zix because he only had you're up 20 CS on him. Like your team is doing fantastic. So your goal is to put that other guy behind as much as possible. You're still getting it, but and this is just a overstay. That's why the order that you do things in is very important. So if you would have done as soon as you walked up this way when you saw these, if you would have done these and then came to your team to push the next wave after they killed the turret, then you guys reset basically, or you go do Herald. Instead, you ran up to here, got the turret with your team, and then came down to Krugs. So you're on their side of the map now, and your team is, I think, 2 of them backed off if I'm not mistaken. We'll go back and look. So yeah, 2 of them left the top lane as well. So you have to be aware of this. So you coming back and taking this camp's fine, but you have to realize that 2 of your teammates just left. So now you do not want to be on the side of the map because you no longer have priority. They're gone. So as soon as you got him to jump like that, then you guys just leave. There's no reason to go for anything more. So it ends up being an overstay for both of you. I don't know if he gets away. He gets away. Your team comes and clears up, but still decision making is very important in this game, especially if you want to consistently climb and get to where you deserve to be playing at. You should be making the best decisions possible. So you guys are killing it right now, but you haven't made bad decisions. You just have made the non-optimal decision. So that right there as well, like I feel like you were lucky to get out of that. You ended up dying to him anyway. You should have just let them basically get the minions up the turret because they can't contest you guys at all right now. How strong you are. Your AD carry has a full item. Their AD carry doesn't. Your support has 2 items completed. Middle has one and 2/3 items completed. Their mid only has one. Like, just look at the item difference. Like, it's staggering how far ahead your team is. The only person that's kind of close to even is the Kale, but she's still behind. She's behind by 500 gold. That's nothing. But the rest of the team, if you look at it, 4,000 gold lead from the support, 35 or 3,200 lead from the AD carry, 2,000 from mid. You even have a 1,200 gold lead. Like, you don't have to force stuff at this point. You guys are just going to win the game. So you just got to make smart decisions and not things where you can end up dying, basically. Dying for free. Like, there was no reason for you to go in there yet, because you needed your team to push. That Kazak's suicidal too. He's on tilt. So at this point in the game, you have a minute and a half left before Herald goes down. You should be you should get Herald here for sure. The only thing, actually, it's especially because 2 of them are dead for 15 seconds, and within 15 seconds you cannot get another turret except for the bottom tier 2. So you should just be getting this because it goes away at 20 minutes. You have all the control in the world over their entire jungle, top and bottom. So you should just be coming here to get this because it'll make it, you can get a inhibitor turret even easier now because you have Herald. So you have to learn about, really about priority, um, and where to make things easier. These guys are just suiciding. But you guys have already won this game. I don't really need to go into any more. Um, I'm pretty sure you finished like 2-6 and something, so I'm sure some crazy fights happen. So I guess I will watch it. Okay. So they're all dead right now. You should just be running mid lane. Katarina and Kale are up in 2 seconds, but the rest of them, you and Yasuo should be going mid lane. You could just finish the game right now. Okay. So Herald's gone now. Baron is up. You have one inhibitor down. Yeah, if your team's already here, you might as well just group with them. The unfortunate thing is 2 of them, your 2 strongest carries die because they're fighting way too early without you guys. They're being way too overconfident. Damn, your Morgana's 10-0 right now. Alright, let's actually look at them. So this is something you have to look at too, and this is why it's really good to use F keys, is to keep tabs on your teammates as you're running out. So this was good by him, just making sure that the wave mid shoves a lot faster. But he has to recognize like the positioning of his team is there's no one there to help him. I know he's really strong, but he needs help still. So that was him throwing. They should have never been in that situation. He did the right thing pushing mid, and then he should have walked basically in a safer path if he didn't have vision anywhere, because we only have vision right here. So he could have just walked this way, and he would have been fine because your teammates were there. But now knowing that he's dead already, and we just used exhaust and it's not doing anything, like we should just be retreating to gain vision and then just go farm until he's back up because we don't want to blow our lead. If they kill her, that's it's 1,000 gold going that way. 300 in the 7. Oof. It's rough. So this game could have been over, or now it's really extended for no reason too. So this could have been the call after you got the inhibitor mid instead of extending the game. And you also should be, if you're coming out of base like that, you absolutely should be bringing a pink ward with you. Like, I don't think I've seen you purchase a pink ward the whole game. So now you should just be going top, pushing top. There's no reason to be where you're at right now. You should just be top. Everyone should be top pushing in to get that other inhibitor for free. It's just foolish. Luckily they overextend too and you guys end, I think, right? Yeah, you guys extend. The easiest route there would have been just take your super powered minions, get this, and then your supers are already here, and then you smother them, just to make it as simple as possible without risking anything. Biggest takeaway from this is to look at your mini map a lot more and learn how to deny the enemy jungler whenever you get information of where he is, basically, because it'll just help you out a ton. Do I have the image somewhere? I thought I had the image. It's not this. If I find the image, then I'll just have to send it over to you. So let me know what you think and if you have any questions.